a little honeybee.
This is Harold Lanier from Lanier Bee Barn, and today we'd like to talk about smokers, lighting the smoker, doing a little maintenance on the smoker. So it's going to be a real quick video to hopefully give you some helpful tips. So you can start with any type of fuel that's going to give you a good, clean, cool smoke. I like to use pine straw because we have trees around here and it's free. You could use leaves and twigs, pine cones. Some people use burlap, some people use some old papers. I do not like to use any papers that have ink, especially colored ink, because the fumes from that's not going to be good for your bees. So we're going to talk about a few ways that people typically light smokers, and basically you probably have learned to use your Bic lighter, and you're going to light it from the bottom and try to get a fuel running at that point. So a little bit there. At first you don't pack it very tight, because if you pack it too tight right away you're going to put the fire out. Puff it a few times and you're going to get a flame coming up. So a good pro tip here is not to stick your head right over there when that flame comes out, or you won't have any eyebrows. So I'm not packing it hard right there, just lightly to keep the fire going. Okay. Once we have a bit of embers in the bottom, then we're going to grab some more fuel, roll it up and pack it tight. You want your fire burning from the bottom. You want it burning from the bottom up. So we'll puff a little more, and pretty soon we got flame again. Tuck in all the little loose strings. Now we have our smoker lit. You got to keep puffing the smoker as you go, or pretty soon, you know, she'll die on you, and that's the exact moment that you need the smoker running. All right. So let's talk about kind of my evolution of how I learned to light the smokers. The typical way is to light a little bit, start from the bottom, and get it burning upward, and keep puffing and keep puffing and keep puffing, and hope that it doesn't go out. And when it does, then you get to say a few bad words and try to start it all over again. So we're going to take a look now at something I learned from a student years ago, and this is the way that I light smokers now, from now on. So I'm going to dump this out, and we're going to start it all over again. I believe that this is going to work, but it does. So again, we start with some pine straw. Now, with my bee yard, I've got quite a few hives, and so the pine straw is going to burn out pretty quickly. So I add a few handfuls of wood pellets, and these will burn much longer. You could add twigs at this point, you could add pine cones, things like that. Okay, so we can add twigs, sticks, anything that's going to burn good and slow. The one thing you don't want to do is have so much combustible in here that when you puff the smoker, that fire comes out the tip, because you're wanting a cool smoke. You don't want fire to burn the bees when you stick it down there. So this is all I have in here. Now I've used the little Bic lighters, and I've used a torch lighter, and I've used the really long charcoal lighters like you have for your grill and that kind of thing. But what I found the most effective is this guy. And not to light on the inside, but to light this way. So you might look at that and think, oh, that's never going to work. So That's really all you do. Now you got to give it enough burn time under there for it to be able to ignite and catch on and get embers and that kind of thing, just like you would if you lit it from the top. But this way you don't have burnt fingers and things like that. It's a lot faster and a lot easier. All right, I want to give you a couple other tips regarding the smoker. So especially if you're using pine cones or you're using the wood pellets, you're going to have creosote and other things that drip down, cause all this kind of mess right here, right? And over time, it's also going to build up on the inside of the smoker. So how do you get that stuff out of there? Well, pretty much the same way. So we're just going to light it. So now you can let this burn. It'll burn out to kind of just a crisp. It'll be crispy, crunchy ashes. And then all of that can just come out nice and easy. Now, so one other thing is that many times if you light a smoker and you run it, especially if you have some of this creosote, if you leave the smoker lid on as it cools, you'll never get that lid off. It's a major pain in the butt. So again, you can use your your torch to get that off. So this guy here is pretty well stuck. We've just got tons of creosote. All right, so we're just gonna warm the rim. And it comes right off. So over time you can just take the torch and burn this stuff off. It'll burn to crispy ash and you can just scrape it. And that's it. So lighting the smoker is not as hard as it used to be if you can use the blowtorch method. And cleaning it up as well as getting it unstuck, that's a biggie as well. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned a little bit. Harold Lanier at Lanier Bee Barn.